Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye has friends. No, really, Jeff has friends. Jeff's friends are on this podcast. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship.
Friendship.
Welcome back to Jeff Dye's Friendship Podcast. I'm wearing my Bigfoot President shirt from Cryptid Zoo. Thanks for all the gear. Got a bunch of cool Bigfoot stuff. If you haven't checked out Cryptid Zoo, I'm not being paid to do this. I just want everyone to enjoy Bigfoot merchandise, and they've got some. So go on over to that. Anyways, this episode 65, I'm so excited to invite a new friend that I met at the Comedy and Magic Club. He is a wildly successful Brazilian comic, and I feel like the universe made him my pal. I met somebody who was like, do you know the comic Raffi Bastos? And I said, I don't know who that is. She goes, oh, he's huge in Brazil. And then I looked him up, and I was like, oh, I have seen this guy. I saw him at the Comedy Magic Club in the green room. And then we were cross paths on like a street by the Laugh Factory. I just felt like in the same week, the universe kept putting this guy in my life. But anyways, I'm so excited to be friends with him. So excited to have him on. You guys are going to love this dude. Super deep, super sweet, super funny. And I think we touch on a lot of interesting subjects, freedom of speech and what comedy's becoming. And then we talk about life and charity. Great guy. I know you're going to love this episode. Let's just dive right in. Enjoy my main man, Raffi Bastos. I almost choked while I was saying that. Like some spit went in my throat when I tried to say his name. Enjoy my main man, Raffi Bastos. Or Bastos. I don't know his last name. You guys are going to love it. And we're in. I'm super excited about this episode.
You're not. You're lying, but
I am.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, I first met you at the Comedy and Magic Club.
Yeah. I like that place.
And whenever, nobody knows that, you probably don't know this. Huh. Whenever there's someone I don't recognize in the green room, which is very rare because that's like my home club, I will just kind of play it cool, do socialize because I love that room. It's one of my favorite places in the world. But then when they go on stage, I sneak out. And I watch them, and then I go, ooh, I like this person. Because Richard's pretty good about only booking, like, great comics.
To me, that's the best club
women.
for me. I like, women. But that's the best club for me. I have so much fun there. Because you play for the American people.
Yes.
You know, you feel like, okay, this is America. I'm in Nebraska here.
Right. No, that's true. Yeah,
That's 100%. What I feel every time I'm there, you know.
When they're listening.
Yeah.
It's not like just like Laugh Factory might have like some young hot people, but they're kind of drunk.
I know.
And they want attention or something.
It's
Whereas
Hollywood.
like Comedy Magic is like, give us a show. We would like a show. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say when you don't recognize someone in the green room, you're like, oh, that's a magician.
That's a magician.
Actually, no. I've been there so long, I know all the magicians too. So I'm like, that's a new magician. And I sneak out and watch. Very rarely have I been disappointed with anybody Richard's booked there. Okay. His sensibilities are fantastic. In fact, one time he booked a guy that I just don't like. And even that guy's really funny. Okay. Like I went out and I was like, yeah, he's really good.
It's a personal problem,
right.
Not a professional one.
Yeah, he's from where I'm from, and I was like, oh.
You're awesome. I hate you. But you're awesome.
Very talented. Like Kevin Owens. You're a piece of shit. but I'm a piece of shit. So how long have you been here doing comedy?
16 months.
60 or 16?
16.
Okay, so that's a weird way to measure
Why
time.
would you say 5 years and 60 months?
I love it.
It's very, measures and sizes and weight and that's difficult for me, because things are different in my country.
Okay.
When you say like I'm 6'7", I have no idea what you're talking about.
I just met a girl from Brazil named Bianca, and she asked me my height because she's very tall. So she was like, "Wait, how tall are you?" And I said 6'4", and she goes, "I have no idea
Yeah.
And in my mind, I was like, what? 6 feet and then 4 inches, which is very obvious to me. But like she had to like measure it, and then she goes, "Oh, you're tall." I was like, "Yeah,
190.
190
meters and centimeters. I'm 198.
Oh, that's great.
Uh,
but what
We could start a volleyball team in here.
Yes,
We got a lot of height here.
Well, last night I went out with Jeff Zenisek to comedy, and Jeff Z is well, not only do we have the same name, but he's like 6'7" or like
He's like 6'5", 6'6", yeah.
he's like 6'7", easy.
You think? I don't think he's that tall.
Dude. I'm like, he's a whole head taller than me, and I'm 6'4".
There's one guy that I did a show the other day that was much bigger than me. The guy who owns a club in Las Vegas. The guy who does the Ray Romano.
Brad Garrett, yeah.
Oh, he's taller than me.
Really?
I think he's like 6'9" or something.
He sounds like an ogre.
He sounds like he's 6'9".
He's got giant voice, like giant man voice.
Yeah.
Like there's some steps in his family. Like there's some evolution to make. Like you can look at his face. It's like he's like from 2,000 years ago. You know? Like there's some.
He's
got some
Eastern.
caveman in
He's
him.
Eastern European and Neanderthal.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got Cro-Magnon man.
Well, has a little more teeth than I have.
Wait, so 16 months,
Yes.
and on your Instagram, most of your comedy, I'm gonna say all the comedy I saw was in different language.
Raffi Comedy. That's
Right.
my in English. So I have I'm trying to build this Raffi Comedy in English because I know I still have a huge audience in Brazil.
Yeah.
I cannot just start to do things in English and forget
Right.
about my people.
Yeah.
So it has been a little tricky for me to figure out how to build an audience in America.
Is there a way to do it where you swipe right for English? Like, so like you basically like you post the exact clip, or do you have the exact clips?
Well, that's not a bad idea. You know?
But then
That
you
is a
just
good
swipe
idea.
it to listen to that,
Yeah.
and you can go that way to listen to.
Yeah, because I watched one of your videos today, and it was you at the Comedy Magic, and it had it had subtitles,
Right.
which was great. And then, that would be a good idea.
Did
Then
you
just-
watch the Brazilian one? Did you watch the one with subtitles in Portuguese?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. But I posted
Did you
on
notice how I was hesitating to not call it Brazil language?
Brazilian. We are not Brazilian.
Portuguese. Now that I've confirmed it's Portuguese by waiting for you to say it.
You're such a coward.
I was like, in different language?
You're a foreign tongue.
I didn't know what it was. Portuguese. Okay, Portuguese.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you have them in both, that would be awesome. And
And let me tell you something. I have to thank you
yeah.
because I saw that you got. I never use those. I have 1,000 of different pen drives that Comedy Magic give it to me, and I saw that you use their videos, and I was like, does it have quality enough for me to post it? And you even zoom it in, and I was like, that's awesome, and I did it, and I was like, so thank you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think that
was a good
it's a
idea.
new era of like posting your clips,
Yeah.
because I used to say don't post it, like don't give it away for free. When you do the Tonight Show, when you do one of these things, post that because that was on TV. Hoard all your comedy and then
Yes.
save it for the special, save it for the albums. But now it's like just a free for all. It's like
Yeah.
the Wild West of stand up comedy.
I agree.
You can just get anybody, see anybody. So I'm like, all right, I got to compete.
It's like Andrew Schultz.
yeah.
He posts literally like
He's a good friend.
every show,
Yeah.
like every weekend on his
What
YouTube.
he has
Yeah.
been posting the last few weeks is crowd work.
Yeah.
And crowd work is awesome because you
Yeah.
know that's something that happened once.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen again. You're not burning your material.
Right.
So he's like, I see
It's a
that
smart way to do
it's
it.
a smart way
So
to
it's
do it.
organic anyway. It's supposed to be like
So
this
smart.
organic moment. So when you try to recreate it, it's not going to work
Nah,
anyway.
It's not gonna
yeah.
work, yeah. But I agree with you. You know, my career stand-up in Brazil started exactly the way you guys are doing right here, with small clips on YouTube.
Okay.
That's what I did in like 10 years ago. I have a video that I talk about marriage that has 6 million views. Wow. It was 10 years ago. So
Yeah.
that's the way stand-up started in Brazil. I'm not even saying me as a comedian, but
Yeah.
stand-up itself. It started with those small clips. But I completely understand what you're saying about like, I'm still thinking about it because I don't have that much material. I have like 50 minutes. In 16 months, I built 50 minutes of material, which is awesome.
That's a lot. Yeah.
But I know that a lot of that material I wrote because it's a new experience. I'm in another country,
Sure.
so there's
just
a
kind
lot
of all coming to you.
Yeah, so I know that I'm not gonna be writing 50 minutes a year.
Like Ismo, who's from Finland, and then Gad Emile, who's both these guys and we're friends with, but they do a lot of material about the language difference and like how Americans, whatever. So it's kind of funny because I've hung out with Gad enough times and watched his thing. I'm always laughing. It's so great. Yeah. And then I see Ismo and hang out with Ismo, and then Ismo's doing this kind of those things. So it's interesting. I wonder if there's going to become a part on Netflix where they're like, all right, we want all the international comedians, but if you're just going to talk about that part,
It's that's exactly what I'm trying to run away from right now. Yeah. What I wanted to do is, and I'm doing it right now, when I have an idea of a joke, if it's about, I don't know, cell phones, or if it's about TV, I'm already thinking in English. Because when I first got here, the only jokes that I was writing in English were the ones that I was actually about misunderstandings and language, and that's
great, and people love them.
They're great. I'm not even criticizing. It's just that I'm trying to go trying to dig a little deeper. So then I can write more material that everybody can understand. Otherwise, I'm always going to be the foreigner.
Right.
And I will because I have an accent and everything. But, I think there's a limit on that.
Right.
Yeah. You got to be a good
you could
comedian.
also tap into what Gad's tapped into, too, of like, in Brazil, you're the guy.
Yeah.
And then now starting fresh it's like your parents moving and you're going to a new school.
Yes.
You're kind of like, no, I was like the quarterback and like I had like the hottest girlfriend and like here they're like, who's this guy with the accent? Like what? So like that is, I think a lot of people can identify with that too, like a new job or like, and it's like those kind of things.
And Jeff, the crazy thing is for me, I didn't have to come here. You know, I came because of the challenge. Not because of only the challenge. I got some problems in Brazil with jokes and got lawsuits, and it was this whole thing. And I was sued. I had to pay a lot of money because of different jokes. The freedom of speech that you guys have here, it's a completely different ballgame outside.
But that's under threat too, though. I mean, every year that's like a battle. It's like somebody's trying to say, they shouldn't be able to say that. Let's protest so-and-so's thing.
But here, it's more about the audience turning themselves against you.
Right.
So, I don't like him. You cannot say this. This is more like a democratic discussion between people.
Sure.
The problem with other countries, like I lost lawsuits and I had to pay money.
That's crazy.
That's good. I spent a lot of money with jokes in Brazil. So the democratic discussion about, this is right or wrong, I can't understand. I think it's fucking boring. I know. It's like, man, like Lenny Bruce was doing much worse jokes than 50 years ago.
And
so this is why we end up.
They weren't even, some of them weren't even jokes. Like people always reference Lenny Bruce, and I want to step in and go, but he wasn't that funny, right? Can we agree? Yeah. He was groundbreaking.
But he was offensive.
Yes.
But I think, I don't, so it's sad to see how things developed here. So all the freedom that you built now is in jeopardy just because it's wrong.
Could you imagine a Don Rickles right now just roasting his audience like that hard?
Well, and also
there's no way.
Don Rickles' last TV appearance, or like one of his last TV appearances. He's on Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy Kimmel loves comics and really can't be offended, but his studio audience can. And Don Rickles is in the thing, and he starts popping on people in the crowd. But that's not what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to just plug whatever his Vegas show was. And so then he just starts going crazy. Look at this Indian kid in the front. Hasalama lama. And like they literally cut to the kid and like these young college kids that are like, Why? It was like so like racially insensitive and hilariously uncomfortable. But
so that's the this can happen as well. Sometimes I don't understand what's right or wrong.
There was like a lawsuit about jokes. That's insane to me.
I lost a lot of money because of lawsuit. The big lawsuit that I had was because I'll tell. I'm not proud of the joke. Of
course not. It's not my Let's preface it. He's not proud of the joke.
It's not my Mona Lisa. I even say this on stage. I feel like I'm Eddie Murphy and this joke is my Dr. Dolittle. That's what I feel.
It's your Norbit.
It's like, I don't want to be known by that. But I was live on TV, and this was the one of the jokes that brought me more problems. It's stupid, but I was live on TV, so we showed this singer, a Brazilian singer. She's hot and she was pregnant. And when the video ended, camera cuts to me, and what I should have said was nothing. But I was like, oh, she's so hot that I would fuck her and her baby. That's what I said. Which is stupid. It's stupid. But it became this huge thing. And people wanted me to apologize, and I never did. And I never did because,
But good for you.
Because the thing is, if I apologize for this stupid joke,
Right.
I'll be apologizing about everything in 2 months.
To speak is to risk offending.
And and I felt that it was important for comedy in my country
Sure.
to say, you know what? We are not going to be apologizing about everything we say.
Sure.
It is important for us to try to push the line a little bit. It's important. So I thought it was, I felt I lost a lot. I lost sponsors. I lost movies. I lost series and jobs and fucking event, corporate gigs. I lost a lot of money because of that joke.
Dude, that joke, like, do you have the clip of that?
I do.
Have you ever sent it to like Legion of Skanks or any of those guys? They would love that joke.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
No,
And like I said, you're not proud of it, and it's not getting you in more trouble. But you're also called a pregnant woman hot, which in America you'd be like a hero. Like people lose like Twitter followers for like criticizing any pregnant woman's looks. You said she's hot.
That's what I said. It was a compliment.
You thought it was positive.
It was a compliment. Yeah. Could I change a word or two on the comment? Maybe. I don't know. It's okay.
You just winged it.
It's not that I'm not proud because I felt it was offensive. It's because I don't think it's that funny. You don't want to be known by an unfunny joke.
Right, that's true.
At least put me in trouble by the ones that I'm proud of,
You know what'd be a great argument too is like, I don't know, they just cut to me and I said something.
Yes, that's exactly
You put me on the spot, I was winging it.
I was live, so that happens.
Yeah.
So
what happened? So like, the aftermath, and you're telling us about all the consequences and aftermath.
Yes.
But what was the reaction in the room when you said it?
People laugh as fuck.
Oh, they laughed.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, see, so that's so frustrating.
And you know what's crazy? I was hosting this TV show. It was a mix between The View and the Daily Show. So it's politics and economy.
Okay.
3 hosts talking, and my 2 other friends, they laugh a lot about the joke. But when it became a problem,
Then they were like,
oh, I didn't think it was that funny.
Yeah, sure.
And they turned it back against me.
yeah.
And I was by myself.
Oh, that's the worst.
Oh, fuck.
Are they comedians too, or are they just like hosts?
No, they are comedians. One of them is a host, and the other one is a comedian. And the other one, it's crazy. I think I never said this here. One of those guys, he even sent a letter to the press saying that he was
Trying to clean his hands.
trying to clear his hands because. I have a daughter, and I know how offensive you are. A friend of mine, a comedian.
That's so frustrating.
He fucking threw me in the bus.
Treason right there. I would have been like, he's my friend and he made a joke.
He made a joke.
Maybe it was the best joke. You can decide, but, he's my friend.
But my friend, the thing is, Jeff, it's all about money. The thing is, it's all about
He's thinking about his family and money and all that.
About his family. Yeah. More than his family, it's about the money that I'm getting because he has money enough for the rest of his life to pay for his family's expenses.
Okay.
He's worried about losing sponsors and losing the crowd because there are a lot of people that... It's like... it's very difficult that people, when I'm having conversations with comedians here, sometimes people are like, you should never apologize. It's important. And I see one comedian saying this, to apologize is just it's playing against comedy. But when you have a responsibility, unfortunately, when you get famous, there's a responsibility that follows you. Mm-hmm. So it's not easy to not play the game. Because there's a game to play.
Yeah.
I've never been shy, and Tony can vouch for this. I will say pretty much whatever I'm thinking or feeling because I feel that much conviction about what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm always willing to risk verbally. So like if a guy crosses me, I don't care if it's helping my career, ruining my career. I'm going to talk about it. I'll share it, because I believe with that conflict can come some resolution. I'll never just stay quiet on a subject. I kind of chime in. However, I do play the game in certain scenarios. Like, for example, there's a comedy club that has done something very aggressive and immature and unprofessional to a friend of mine who's a comic and a friend of this podcast. Okay. Now, I'm working that comedy club in a couple weeks. And somebody said, hey, you should tell that comedy club to stick it and not work on it since they disrespected your friend like that. I haven't even considered not taking that booking. And my friends are like, well, what happened to like Mr. Do What's Right? Here's the thing. The reason I'm still doing that is because, one, they're paying me great money. Two, I'm going to get to spend a weekend in the city where I get to hang out with that exact friend that was wronged. And three, if I go around blocking any bookings that a booker has wronged a comedian, I couldn't play any comedy club in America. Bookers are famously scumbags, and they cheat people out of money. And like literally every booker I work for, I could find 3 comedians that don't like that booker and feel wronged by that booker.
And if you just go with your friends, you're probably not gonna be working pretty soon.
And also, why? Let's make the money off these fuckers. Let's steal money from these bookers. Let's go in there and so there. I do play the game, and then I also do that on. I have like a weird line.
You can play, but do you help the guy that got in trouble somehow? Do you talk on stage about this? Now you're not gonna.
I won't
you're not gonna go to that club.
But I don't think that booker would be there anyways to hear it. So I don't like. I wouldn't really be sticking it to just be like risking. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. But it's tricky.
It's your thing. I understand. If you're not part of the problem, sometimes you don't. There's 2 different versions for every story. Yeah. So if you're part of the problem, if you were in the place, if you felt bad about something that someone did,
you were my co-host on a show. We were like on a show together. I would definitely feel that loyalty to you, as opposed to if I'm just on the same network on a different show and then they wrong you. I'd be like, hey, you got to talk to him about that. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
That's tricky.
It's different. But man, I'm not saying that this was what brought me to America, but it was a kind of I felt that I did everything that I wanted to do in Brazil. I'm not saying that everything was a success. Sure. But I did.
But you did a lot of stuff, yeah.
I did. I did like 5 movies. I wrote 2 series. I directed 1.
Nice.
I did like 3 shows. I did my special on Netflix in Portuguese, which has subtitles. And I know people don't read subtitles here in America, but it's there. It's called Ultimatum. If people want to watch it, it's on Netflix. But I did what I wanted to do. And it's just like, man, if you play basketball in Thailand, your dream is to play at the NBA.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I know how important for me it is to play an improv.
Sure.
At the Laugh Factory.
You've heard about it your whole life, yeah.
It's like, man, that's the big league.
Sure.
And if I go to those places and I do well and and my jokes are working, it's like a dream.
Yeah.
Which is crazy and it's humbling because there's no money. There's no money. People are paying like enough to pay for your Uber. Sometimes they don't even pay for your Uber.
They'll give you $15 at the Improv, and you're like, "Why am I even signing for this? I have a $30 bar tab out there."
Yes, but it's that's the way to do it.
Sure,
that's the way people do it.
I want to hear about how you feel about like American comedy clubs and rooms and stuff like that. But what is the comedy scene in Brazil?
Stand-up started with me and 4 guys in 2004. So it's brand new.
Wow.
It's new. We are doing it was me and 4 guys. We had comedians doing like one-man shows and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't like...
that was vaudeville. You guys were like the stand-ups.
Yeah, we are stand-up. Me and a few friends, we brought this concept of 5 guys going on stage doing 15 minutes and writing their own stuff. Yeah. Because in Brazil, the type of comedy that we had before stand-up, and we still have a lot of this, is more like the impersonators and the characters.
Shtick, like sketchy.
Yes, the wigs and I'm dressing like a woman. That's, those...
Yeah. I know some comedians like that play Comedy Magic Club.
Okay,
Yeah.
you know this comedy, this type of comedy that you see on Televisa, those
Yeah.
Mexican channels
Yeah.
and stuff. That's we still have that. It's very popular in Brazil. But I brought with a few friends. We started to do stand up because I lived here in 1999. That's when I first met and I had a chance to see stand up for the first time. I used to live here. I had a basketball scholarship to play
Nice.
in Nebraska.
Nice.
Yeah, it was.
Omaha or?
Omaha. My dream was to go to Omaha. Yeah. It was a Division II school in the middle of nowhere. And I'm telling you, in the middle of nowhere. It's like between Nebraska and Wyoming. It was but it was crazy because I actually had a chance to meet the American people.
Yeah. Saw a lot of corn.
Yeah, a lot of corn, a lot of racism. A lot of.
In those areas, there's more racism than corn.
Yes. And so I kind of saw stand-up for the first time. And I was like, man, that's awesome. Because I was already graduated in journalism when I came here to study. And I always wanted to work with comedy. But I was never the guy who would dress like a wig and put like a costume.
Yeah, it feels silly, right?
I used to observe the world and see what I think is funny or not. And when I saw a guy going on stage, and I think I saw, I'm not sure, but I think I saw Jim Gaffigan was the first one that I saw, and Brian Regan.
Yeah, Brian Regan's my favorite.
So they're awesome. And they were like, oh, my name is Jim Gaffigan, and this is what I have to say. So I was like, his name is actually Jim Gaffigan.
That's his real look. He's not wearing like costumes.
He's not dressing as Jim Gaffigan. So, and then we started to do stand-up comedy in Brazil. It took some time for people to understand what we were doing.
Yeah.
Because people would think that I was playing this character or I was trying to say something. Is this guy saying jokes? Is this like...
Is he running for office? Is he a politician? Yeah.
It's funny, but I don't think it's comedy. So it took some time for us. Now stand-up is a word that people talk in Brazil. Sure. It's like, I have a comedy club in Brazil. I have my own comedy club in Brazil. So it's something. I
met a girl at like a place in Vegas, like a Top Golf, like doing comedy. And she just immediately was like, do you know him? I was like, yeah, I've seen him at the comedy club, but like, this is crazy. Like she's, the second she thought of stand-up, she thought of you. Yeah, it's amazing.
Because this is, because in Brazil, we don't, we have, you're asking me like, how is the scene in Brazil? We have a good scene in Brazil. We have
now
good comedians now, very good comedians. And I think what happened is the difference that I feel between here in Brazil is that I feel that in Brazil, comedians are more connected. I see more people hanging around and people living together and sharing and going to restaurants and living more like this. They're a group of guys. There are less people as well.
Yeah.
Competition is not that big.
Right.
Of course, there's a lot of steps to make us quality. We have some very good ones, but there's like this huge gap between the very good ones and the not the one.
I feel like LA has a similar gap.
You think that?
But there's just more people here and more people here. But I feel like in New York, it's all cream of the crop. But in LA, we have a lot of people doing stand-up that want to be like hosts and actors. They'll even admit, oh, I'm not that into the stand. You know, it's just their way to be seen. Yeah. And so it's kind of annoying sometimes.
They actually admit, right? I saw that.
They'll just say it. They're like, I'm just doing this so I can get like an act. You're like, ugh.
It's important for me to go on stage and connect. I was like, that's, I want that spot.
Exactly. Yeah, like I'm doing it because I love, this is my first love, stand-up comedy. Yeah, it's annoying.
That's exactly why I don't do it, because I respect it too much to pussyfoot my way around on stage just because. So
yeah, I'm just auditioning for baseball movies because I want to be a baseball player. You're like, what? What are you talking about? It's confusing. Wait, so did you originally, before you wanted to be a comedian, imagine the dream was maybe basketball when you were younger.
Basketball. Still is.
But then you thought, as you got to a certain age, journalism, right? Or no?
I played until I was 24. So I played pro for a little bit in Brazil. But my dream was always to play basketball, which is crazy because the story is crazy. I came here to play. My dream was to have the 4 years of college. And I didn't do the 4 years of college because I got injured on my first year.
Oh, wow.
And I broke my jaw, my cheekbone. It was something, it was bad. So I had surgery here and I went back to Brazil to do another surgery. Okay. I was very beautiful. I was just like Jeff Dye. Now I'm fucking this. Right?
That's right.
But when I got back to Brazil, I got a job. I got a good basketball team that would pay me some money.
Nice.
And if you get paid, you cannot come and play college anymore. You become like professional. That's what they consider.
Yeah.
So I decided to stay in Brazil and not come back. So I played like a year here, one season. I got injured in the beginning of the season. It was very frustrating for me because my dream was to come here and play basketball.
Right.
But I decided to stay in Brazil. Things went great. I built this huge career and everything else. But it was something that it was always on my mind, like something that I didn't accomplish.
Yeah.
There was a goal that I set for me that I didn't do it. To have a professional run here in this country. I wanted to come here, play basketball, graduate, maybe play a little pro. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't good enough to play the NBA. No, I was far from that. But I wanted to do at least the college, which is like a dream.
Yeah.
But I didn't do. So I kept dreaming about it. Coming here and playing basketball. And because that was the thing. I wanted to come here and I want to play basketball. So I kept dreaming for like 10 years. Every month, at least once a month, I would dream that I was here and I would get injured and I had to go back to Brazil. It was something that was really something that it was a frustration for me.
Sure.
And I never thought that I would have a second chance to come to America and try it again. So for me now, I'm not gonna back up now.
You might be our most Renaissance man we've ever had on the podcast. As far as like we've had directors, like successful, we've had obviously actors and people that made series, comedians, and and athletes. We've never had a guy that did all those things professionally.
I did a lot.
That's pretty amazing.
I did a lot.
You're the king of Brazil.
I'm the king of. I want to say that I'm the king of Brazil.
That's the next stand-up special. The
That's
king of
the
Brazil
king of Brazil.
comes to America.
But the thing is now I'm focused on having this run like in the right way.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna which is sometimes a little difficult. I have a kid in Brazil.
Nice.
So we talk every day. He misses me a lot, but
How old's your kid?
He's 8 years old.
8. That's a good age.
Yeah, he's 8 years old.
He's old enough to FaceTime and talk, and he's got his own things.
I brought him here once. I'll go there.
He plays basketball?
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
He will.
He will.
Because my ex-wife is.
I thought he was already married.
No.
His wife.
My ex-wife, she's like 6'1".
Oh, God.
And I'm 6'7".
Yeah.
So he has to play basketball.
Yeah.
He can't be just a fucking 6'11" engineer. He's not gonna.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know, Dad. I just kind of want to play video games. You're like,
no. That would be sad. But it's difficult sometimes because I have the kid in Brazil and I have my career there.
Wait, between the lawsuits and a divorce, I mean, is that'll make you lose some money here in America at least?
Fortunately, I signed a paper that I will keep all my things.
Smart move.
I'm not gonna marry anymore. Like I knew that. My father is Jewish.
Yeah,
he's a Jew. So I learned a little bit on how not to lose that much money.
Smart. Yeah, that's my only problem with marriage. Is I'm like, no, I'm not gonna lose everything. Like, because all my heroes are like old guys who are always like, hey man, I lost everything. I had 2 divorces. I had to start fresh. And so I'm like, if I just never get married, then I'll never get divorced, and then I'll always be rich.
But you.
And then don't say any racial slurs.
Yeah.
Even as a joke.
Yeah, no.
Because that could end your career.
But you can sign. You can sign a paper.
Chris Rock signed one, and they basically like negated it. They're like, no, there's no way she could have known you'd be this famous. And I'm like it's like I've heard there's ways
so he
to get
has
around.
a paper.
He had a prenup.
And he didn't work.
He still didn't work.
Oh my God!
It's so unfair. Like that's how like women.
Because it's like she signed. Like it's like no, it's worth this much when we sign, right? But now you're worth this much.
Yeah. There's no way. It's unconscionable. There's no way she could have known he'd be that. But that's the whole premise of a prenup, in my opinion.
Yes.
That's the thing. You could say men rule the world, and it's an unfair society for women, and I might agree, but. Women rule the courts. Women always win the courts. Like they're gonna dominate.
I'm sure you
the
can put
courts.
language into a prenup now.
Maybe.
Now that we know.
They've evolved.
Now we know that that's happened. Like, hey, look.
Yeah, look.
I know I'm a piece of shit now.
Yeah.
But when I'm
Well,
balling.
let that be a lesson to power women. You know, these women are evolving and they're getting all these great positions.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you're going to get her money. That's the thing.
That might be the new movement.
No, you know what? I think the prenup is important. And I'm telling you this because you're going to get married pretty soon.
Oh, I'm not. Don't put that on me.
And the prenup is important not only to save your money.
Yeah.
It's to make things fair and adult when you get divorced.
Right.
So you can sit down with the person and then you talk because you're grown-ups and then you say, okay, I think that's fair. What do you think? Can we reach a point that everybody's comfortable with you? That's why it's important. My ex-wife, she got an apartment. She got a lot of things because I thought that was fair for her to get.
And she's the mother of your child. And
I'm paying for all my child expenses. You know, so it's fair. The prenup sometimes is not fair because she will have, or maybe you, maybe suppose that she is rich. You're going to have 50% of everything, and maybe she's going to have to pay you a little per month. So actually, you're going to be better than her at the end.
I get why it's a good deal. I just don't. I feel like I'm going to be on the financial side of that, where I'm having to pay them.
Probably. Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to. I wouldn't want to do this. Wait. So do you follow NBA here?
I do.
Have you always followed like American basketball?
Yeah.
It's big.
Yeah, I just saw Shaw Kemp t-shirt over there.
I'm obsessed with it. And
great.
the most exciting week in NBA right now with all the free agencies. It's like literally insanity.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant going
And
to the
Kyrie
Nets,
Irving.
Kyrie Irving, and DeAndre Jordan, and then you got D'Angelo coming to Golden State.
Oh, D'Angelo left, right?
Iguodala went to the Grizzlies.
No, he didn't. He's probably going to go to the Lakers. That's what I read in the morning. The Grizzlies didn't work.
I like that. I didn't know that.
The Grizzlies.
And there's all these rumors about Kawhi coming to the Lakers.
I think he's going to go to the Clippers.
Everybody said Clippers. But then this last, it was like 12 hours ago, I was reading this thing about how, all the Lakers people were like, it looks like it's a done deal. And also for Kawhi, if he wants to play in LA, why not just team up with those guys? I mean, that's a home run. Yeah. And it's not like Kawhi's against that. He was on the Spurs.
He already got a title playing for not of a great...
Scrubs.
You know, yeah.
I don't like calling him scrubs, but
he already proved himself.
Yeah. And he's out of like all the like superstars in the NBA, I feel like he's the one that like worries about that the least.
Sure.
Right? Like the legacy. Like he just wants to win.
Play basketball.
You know?
Yeah, be left alone.
Yeah.
When also, like, think about it. If he comes to the Clippers, he's going to be that guy, right? But haven't we kind of learned that Kyrie doesn't want to be that guy that has to do the interviews and that kind of stuff? So if he comes to the Lakers, he just gets to play basketball every day. And then, like, LeBron's going to be doing the press conferences. And, like, he's going to be doing the blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Like, Kawhi doesn't need to be Mr. Clipper. He doesn't want to do State Farm commercials like Chris Paul. Like he wants to just be left alone and play basketball.
Which is that's I was talking to my girlfriend yesterday. That's funny that they did like 1,000 commercials with Chris Paul and James Harden when they were friends. And now they fought.
Now they hate each other.
They hate each other.
They
but
still run the commercials.
Like, look at this! Oh, my apartment.
We're hanging out in our house with the mascot of that. Yeah, it's so crazy. Are they going to blow that team up? The Rockets?
Apparently,
apparently
their relationship is inconsolable.
They were offering
inconsolable. What a term!
They were offering PJ Tucker and who they're going to break the team up.
Yeah. I'm so glad they're breaking up because I've never been. This is a sin in LA to say this. I've never liked Chris Paul, and not because he's not good and like charming, and I love the photos of him and his son are like awesome, always make me happy on Instagram. But I don't like how he cries all the time. He doesn't look like he's having fun out there. He's like always like complaining to the refs.
Oh, you're crying like complaining.
Yeah,
not
actually on the court. No, he's got like a stink face all the time. Yes. Like he literally like everything's a foul. Yeah. Everything is unfair. Like he's never, and I don't like players that play like that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree. But the fight between James Harden and Chris Paul, that was something that I really wanted to understand.
I didn't even know that they didn't get along. I didn't know that was a thing.
It's a fairly new development.
Yeah, because James Harden was mad at Chris Paul than last year because he really wanted to run the whole play. And if he runs the whole play, there's no reason for Chris Paul to be alive. Because this is what he does. Like, let me
I'm the point guard. Yeah, like
let me organize the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because there's a limit on that. James Harden, it's amazing. But if people figure out him, or maybe he's not getting baskets in a game, your team is fucked. You have no options.
Right, absolutely.
Right.
So that's why it's important for them to have a little more options than that. And that's what Chris Paul is trying to do. Because they were, if you think about it, they were successful last year.
Yeah.
They had a good run,
good team,
you know?
Yeah.
But I think they could be much better if they actually think a little more than Harden. I was watching a video the other day. Some players just are in the court because of the stats.
Right.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook.
Yes.
I saw a video showing Russell Westbrook even getting some getting some baskets at the end of the game, or getting like a rebound just to have
to get a triple double. Like the guys will just let him get a rebound and something. I'm like, all right.
Yes. When there's like a free throw, he gets all those rebounds.
It's crazy. But also like this might be like they would throw me out of an NBA like room if I ever pitched this anywhere else. But like it appears that the teams that play the best in every sport are the teams where everyone is friends. And then the second that they can't get along or they don't have an interest in getting along and they're kind of doing their own thing and getting their stats, they don't play as well. They don't win as much. When Shaq and Kobe are hanging out and drinking and smiling and dancing together, they win. When they start going, like so-and-so cheated on so-and-so and snitching on each other, then the team isn't good and they break up. I would like put so much money in making these guys hang out and go do things and be friends and dinners and that kind of stuff. Because like it seems like when you like each other, you play better.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think all of them, it's got to be very difficult to have a relationship with each other. They all get so much money.
Yeah.
And even in those big cities, how can you actually connect with someone living in New York? It's like, I'm telling you, probably those guys in Minnesota, they are very close to each other.
Yeah.
That's why
Milwaukee, there's nothing else to do.
That's a great place to live for like 2 years and have good friends, you know? So you really connect with the team. But like, how can you connect in LA, bro? There's so much. You're doing movies.
I force them. I just be like forcing them to hang out. Like the Seahawks, one of my favorite teams we ever had is American football. The players, it was I can't remember what year it was, but it was when we went to the Super Bowl against the Steelers. Super Bowl XL. 2005. There was all these stories about how the coach would like encourage them to go like hang out, and they would have like Friday night like hangouts, and all the wide receivers would watch like movies. They were doing like inside jokes. They would do like the sprinkler after they caught a touchdown, and then all the fans are like, "Why are they doing that? That's so fun. We want to do the sprinkler." And then it turns out they watched Night at the Roxbury, like the silly comedy, and so then that made them all like have this like inside joke with each other, and they were like winning. Nice. You know, I feel like the Mariners with when D Gordon comes and they all become pals.
They're not winning though.
Well, but they were.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I just feel like just be friends.
But just take a look at Jordan and Chicago and all those guys. They didn't get along.
Yeah, they didn't. I didn't know that.
I saw like a number of interviews. I was watching an interview with Dennis Rodman the other day, and he said that he never spoke with Jordan outside of the court.
Yeah, I think Jordan was hard to get along with just because he's so alpha and was just like legend. But like
he used to hit people. You know what? He fought. You know who he fought? Bill Cartwright, the center. Remember the center?
Yeah, that guy's huge.
This?
Bill Cartwright's a monster.
He went after Bill Cartwright
because he could do whatever he wanted. You know, and it's like they were winning championships, so it's like they can't really say anything about it. And he's so competitive, like to a fault. So it's like that.
I would hate to be around a guy like that.
That great story about that dream team when they had that like 5-on-5 game, and it was Jordan versus Magic, and they were just like going.
There's
at
a video on the internet, like they're playing against each other.
Yeah, it's like
and Christian Laettner just watching from outside. That's not for me.
Yeah, I love that Christian Laettner was even on that team. Yeah, so forgettable. He was like the intern.
It's because he made one bucket at Duke. They're like, all right,
but that guy,
2 buckets.
Well, yeah.
But the guy, he had a great career, man. He was in the NBA for like 12 years, if you think about it. That's good.
Yeah.
And he was known as a college player, right?
Right.
Duke and everything. So, man,
They maybe thought he was like the future, you know? They're throwing him a bone.
yeah, we have
Being on
some.
that
We
team.
have some Brazilians in the NBA. We have some.
Who you got?
Nene.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I love him.
And he's awesome. Yeah, I think it's our best ever. Leandro Barbosa, the guy.
Are you friends with those guys? Like, do you know them?
I know the only one that I met was the guy who played for the Lakers, Marcelo Huertas.
I don't even know who that
The
is.
guy with the long hair, curly hair. He was like last year, I think. Yeah, last year, Kobe's last year. He said that Kobe wasn't even traveling with them.
Oh, I believe
That's
that.
how fucking you couldn't care less about connecting with those people.
Yeah.
Well, you know Kobe didn't care about that team the way he took all that money. He was just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm at the oldest point in my career and like I'm probably going to not really hustle or show up that much. I still want the most. And they're like, come on, man. You can't take the most now.
Yes.
And he took the most and made him crappy for like the next
Crappy for
whatever years.
for a few years. But that's why he said it was like impossible. The guy was even traveling with them.
I would be
no
so mad, especially as a
conversation.
young guy who like looks up to him.
Oh,
They must all
yeah,
have loved
of
Kobe, and they're
course.
like, "We get to play on the same team." And they're like, "No, you don't even get to talk to Kobe."
Yes.
You might see Kobe, but that's about it. Well,
You'll
so
give
who's your team
Kobe
then?
the ball.
Well,
That's
the
what
thing
you'll do.
that I don't have a specific team, but there's a few that I really like.
Okay.
I like the Denver Nuggets.
What?
I love the Denver Nuggets because what you're saying about friendship and connection,
Yeah.
I feel with those people.
Oh, really?
Because they're in Denver and you can see that they are really fighting and fucking throwing themselves just because of the team.
Yeah.
You know?
Interesting.
I like them, and I used to cheer for the Knicks when it was in the 90s.
Right.
You know, with Patrick Ewing
They
and
blew
John
it yesterday.
Starks and Latrell Sprewell, and that's Anthony Mays and Charles Oakley.
Those teams. That's it. Well, there's a few different teams you named there, but I used to love Latrell Sprewell. I don't know why. I think it was maybe NBA Jam, just like made me like in love with Latrell Sprewell. Plus, he was like a bad boy, right?
Yeah, I don't know what happened with him.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
it's weird.
He probably arrested.
Well, you should pick a team. You should be a Lakers guy.
I don't know, man. It's too expensive. Last year, I've been to a lot of Clippers games
Okay.
because
I'll take you to a Lakers game. We'll go to a Lakers
Oh,
game.
I would love to.
Yeah, I'm friends with the owner, Jeannie Buss.
Oh, cool.
So it's $0. It costs us $0.
So you can go anytime you want.
Any game. And we sit real close.
Oh my god!
Super fun.
This run to Sherman Oaks was worth it.
No, it's super fun, and we drink a lot. Basically, we just take an Uber because we're like, it's going to be a lot of drinking and hanging out, and it's like so much fun. But now that LeBron's there, it's like we're so much because I've been doing it for a few years.
So now that he's gonna have LeBron, Anthony Davis,
Oh, yeah.
and you're gonna still having tickets.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is gonna be over for you, my friend.
No way. Well, I thought it was going to be over when they got LeBron. Because the years that I was going, they were garbage. I mean, like, I could go any game, whatever, and, like, it was just easy. Like, I could, like, text, like, the day of. And then Jeannie be like, yeah, come on down. And then we got LeBron, and I was so ahead of all the LA fans. Because all the LA fans were, like, snobby. Like, we don't want LeBron. Screw LeBron. We want so-and-so. And I was the only guy, because I'm not really from here, that I was like, Jeannie, get LeBron. We got to get LeBron. Because they were, like, all the LA fans were, like, talking about getting Chris Paul from the Clippers and getting, I don't remember who the rumors were, Melo or something at the time. And I was the only one being like, get LeBron, get LeBron, get LeBron. So when we got LeBron, I was like, I'm celebrating. I was like texting her, like, I'm celebrating. I'm dancing around my living room. And she's like, yeah, we got him for you. Obviously she didn't, but like she was, just being silly. And then I said, although now everybody's going to be hitting you up for tickets. And, like, so now this sucks. And she goes, no, don't worry about any of that. And so I would text her day off and she'd get me tickets for this. So yeah, she's been super loyal about all that. She's awesome. She'll love you. She loves stand-up comics. She's like
That's awesome.
her
man.
profile picture on Instagram is her doing stand-up.
Oh yeah.
The owner of the Lakers.
Did she do stand-up?
Yes, she would do open mics at the Flappers in Burbank for crowds of maybe like 15 people. And it made me love her so much. I was like, that's the owner of the Lakers.
Yeah.
And like comics are so, and not to sound disrespectful to comedians because I hate talking anything bad about comics, but famously comics are shit about sports. They don't know a lot. They limp in on conversations. They don't know. They're like, I'm an artist. I hate sports for some reason. And they had no idea. I was like, that's the owner of the Lakers. And they're like, well, isn't she like the daughter of the owner? I was like, He's been dead for a long time, and she owns the. It's like so crazy.
And she got a lot of heat the last 2 years, right? People talking that she was making the wrong moves and stuff, and everything, paid off.
She was very patient, and also like Magic Johnson when he was at like going off and telling everyone like, oh, I have problems with Plinka, blah, blah, blah. He was like, Genie's been great. Yeah. Like he was like fine with the Genie because Genie is so professional. Is Magic still the GM? No. There was like a big he like walked out and like he had a falling out with like a lot of the Lakers people. But even then he was like he didn't throw Genie under the bus. He was like Genie and me were great. Like she understands how business works. She's always been like really wildly professional. So it's cool. Does he own the team? I don't even know. I think he was like just some general manager or something. That's crazy. Right? What was his position at the Lakers?
Yeah, he was like president of whatever
operations.
Well, it was just a job.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Wait, so you have the Netflix special?
Yeah, in Brazil. It is in Brazil. No, it's here, but subtitles.
And people can watch that on the.
People can. Yeah. People can. But if now I just started to post my stuff on Raffi Comedy. When I do a podcast, I never say my Instagram. I think it's so lame.
To what?
I did Joe Rogan's, and I was so excited. That I never said anything. Like, follow me here.
Here's where you can find me.
No, I'm just this guy who sat down and fucking laughed.
So funny.
But I'm trying to build an audience. That's my goal right now, my friend. It's not easy to build an audience here.
Well, just because everyone is competing for, like literally, Fahim Anwar's got a great bit on his special about how he's like, LA is the only place where you can walk up to anyone and be like, hey, I'm a big fan. And they're like, oh, thanks, man. It wouldn't matter who it is. Everybody is pursuing something in this city. Like we're all doing something. But like you're wildly talented. Like just the fact that you can do comedy in Portuguese and English is insanity to me. Like how long have you known English? Your whole life? Or?
No. You know what really taught me English was... Remember when we used to have... I don't know if you guys had here, but we had a lot in Brazil. The only way we were watching NBA was on TV once a week, and we had those VHS tapes.
Yeah.
Did you guys have those ones here? Like bloopers and guards.
Yeah.
And centers of the NBA.
Yeah. I had a bunch of those. Most of them were baseball bloopers because I'm a big baseball guy. I like football Foley's.
The
NFL are like,
And I actually learned a lot English with those tapes because I used to memorize those lines and stuff. That helped me a lot. So when I came here to study, I learned a little more.
You saw a lot of Daryl Dawkins is what you saw.
A lot of Daryl Dawkins, yes. Like punching and breaking
rims and doing
and a lot of Dominique Wilkins.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that's how I learned. And then I came to America in 1999. I learned a little more. But I always I've always spoke English. Is that the way you say it? I've always spoke English. Is that the way you say it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're nailing it.
Sometimes
while he's talking about English. I've always spoke English. Is that how you say it?
Sometimes I say a word and I get proud in the middle of the sentence and I have to stop and breathe like, oh, fuck, I just used a very difficult word.
Just nailed it. That's really funny. You should say that on stage.
I just nailed it.
Like your pride of like, oh, yeah. Did you hear that? Wait, so your comedy club in Brazil, do you only book Portuguese comedians?
Yes.
Because like the audience has to...
There's not that many people in Brazil that speaks English. We have someone that speaks English.
Like Jade, you've had Jade there?
Yeah, no, Jade is a good friend. You know, Jade is an awesome friend. She opens for me sometimes in Brazil when I do theaters and stuff. Sure. She opens for me. And she was like a big push for me to come here.
Oh, really?
A lot of those places, I did the Laugh Factory and the Improv. She helped me with those places.
Oh, nice.
It was the first. I really felt comfortable coming here because of her.
She's sweet. Yeah, she's a good lady.
If she wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here.
She's a hustler. Oh my gosh. So we just did a show, a weed eating television show for Netflix that like Snoop Dogg produced, and her. social motor, like her like business, like
oh my
it was
gosh.
so next level that I found myself getting like agitated. I was just like, let's just take it down. Like, I mean, like she was like, oh, what's your, and she's like chatting up the EP, like, oh, tell me about this. Oh, I was just on a show like that. Hey, oh, we did like, and I was like,
Yes.
and I'm like, I was at my wit's end because they're feeding me weed and I'm not like a drug guy. So I'm already like just kind of like the whole thing. But I was wildly impressed. Like
she
is
connects,
just
bro. She connects.
drilling through like contact.
She connects. If she was like a manager or an agent, she would get so much money because she knows how to do her stuff. And she's a hustler, man.
And she's gorgeous, so everybody like wants to also like connect with her, and like it's not like my manager, you know, he's the best, but he's a balding Jewish guy with a oversized suit.
Oh my god!
And so like people love my manager, but it takes a while. They gotta like talk to him and get to know him. Jake, like from across the room, they're like, "Who is that? Hi, I'm so and so. What's your name?"
I saw when I arrived here. She was what's the name of the comedian? I think he's Australian. Is it the very big name?
Will Anderson?
No, it's a guy who wears a leather jacket and
Jim Jeffries.
Jim Jeffries. Yeah. So when I got here, we went to the Improv. I had a gig there. I had like a spot there. And I didn't know anyone. And that was Jim Jeffries. And I was like, oh, I love this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, she's just sat on his lap. And they have this amazing conversation. You're like, the bald guy would never do that.
Right.
The Jewish bald guy would never do that. And they were like,
or if he did, he's in a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah.
It is interesting.
It wouldn't be the same thing.
Yeah, she has like a strange drive and ability. That's cool. Like, so she's obviously worked there. Brazil is like one of those places.
You're a good-looking guy.
Thank you.
Do you think that helps your career somehow?
Yeah, it helps my career. So actually, this would be good to put on record. I'm aware that my looks have gotten me a tremendous amount of work and tremendous amount of connections and relationships. And with women, it helps a lot. Naturally, it helps in like likability of like job interviews my entire life. Every facet of my life, it has helped. But stand-up comedy. And people don't like to give me this. They're like, oh, shut up. I'm like, I promise you, I'm aware that good looks helps. Not in stand-up. I have to earn them in a different way on stage.
Because you think that the audience, when sees it, they're like, this motherfucker.
Exactly. They don't want that.
He's not funny. How can he look like this?
Exactly. And there's a narrative between comedians who say that. Like Amy Schumer said that straight up, like on her special. She's like, she was annoyed that someone met like Cameron Diaz and thought that Cameron Diaz was funny. And she was like, fuck off. Cameron Diaz can't be funny. And you're like, just because the way she looks, she believes that she couldn't be funny. There's that thought in people's brains. They go, this person can't be funny. They want me to be a banker. They want me to be an accountant. They want me to be a model. They don't want me to be the guy who's silly, you know?
So Cameron Diaz, I didn't understand. Who said that Cameron Diaz wasn't?
And I think that's the actress that she used. But Amy Schumer tells a story about how her friend met Cameron Diaz. And then she goes, oh, I love Cameron Diaz. What's she like?
She's
and
funny.
Then she didn't say she was hot. She didn't say she was talented. She said she was funny. But Amy's funny. And Amy's like, but I'm chubby and I'm... She couldn't understand. She didn't want to accept that Cameron Diaz was funny.
I think Amy Schumer believed that so much that she was pretty. And then she ate all the donuts in the fucking world just for people to go like, you know what? Let's laugh at this chubby girl. Maybe there's something in you.
Will Ferrell used to be really fit and strong. He said he put on weight to become funny. Like he put on weight to go on SNL and like to be like this because it's more approachable. How many comics have you seen get on stage and then like, you know, heavier guys who are like, well, no one wants to have sex with me. Like there's this self-deprecation that I can't get on stage and do. So I've just got less tools when I'm up there. I have to work different muscles. So I don't want people to think, oh God, he's complaining about being good looking. I'm aware that it helps. But in stand-up, it's hard. Ask Jade. I mean, you think people want to laugh at Jade?
I agree. No, she says
she's too gorgeous.
She has to be a little careful because women got mad at her. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
That women feel like she's connecting with people, looking at different people. When she makes fun of one guy, looks like she's hitting on the guy.
Right.
It's like it's
just a whole different avenue. I think Dane Cook had to navigate it for sure for like a long time. I think like, you know, it's a pretty easy cross to bear, but it should be noted that it's harder. Like, I think, I don't know. It's weird.
That's crazy. You know, that's crazy. Yeah, man, get some pounds. You fucking
That's
eat
what I'll do, man. Just
some cookies.
You know, get like an acid spill on my face or something. Just something. Change the career.
Something to talk about. But I think
That's
that
all acid face. Yeah, that guy's
But
hilarious.
it's not worth it though, because now comedy be easier and all the other things that I have like perks in my life would be harder. And I'm like, I miss that. I just work harder at stand-up.
But Jeff, that's funny.
What?
If you actually put this on stage, like, I know I look awesome, and that's not good for stand-up. And
I have referenced it on stage where I'm like, I know I look like a douchebag. I promise I'm nice. Because they want to hate you.
That's
Like,
right.
and then every high school movie has like taught us that. Like, oh, the good-looking
You
people.
would be the quarterback.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd be the guy that's like, get in my car, babe. What are you talking to that fag for? You know, like, that's exactly what I would be in a high school movie. But ironically, like, I was like the nerdy kid in school and like the guy that didn't have the girls. I think that's what made me get humor.
got
personality.
it.
That's how I got people. And then later in life, it just filled out. And then everyone's like, oh, he's not a loser.
I just realized this week, actually, I'm an easygoing guy.
Yeah.
You know, I am very optimistic. And this probably doesn't help my comedy as well, because I see the world with bright eyes. I love life.
Yeah.
And it's difficult.
And I
when
love that you love life.
When I do like late nights at the improv and I'm like happy and I see that people are miserable and they think that's what funny comes from. That's weird for me. But then now I'm starting to question myself, am I really happy, or I use comedy not to deal with something that I really had to deal? I don't know. You know, that's maybe I'm running away from my own problems because I always crack a joke. No, I'm not the guy who always make jokes every time, but I think comedy helps me to deal with life in a good way.
But that's good. I don't think that that's bad at all. I mean, that's how I deal with everything. Is like silly or like having like a brighter disposition. Like even when bad things happen to me, I kind of just chuckle and go, "Oh, I can't believe this is happening." Because like, what am I supposed to do? Cry? Like vent about? No. It's like then I'll be Mark Maron, who's like got all the money in the world and all these people that love him, and he's still acting like a grumpy piece of trash.
But I think those people, they like the fact that they are a piece of trash, and that's because it almost bring them some value.
Yeah, there's something romantic about being the like Mark Maron is this like Tom Waits-ish like this world, you know, and like there's something kind of edgy and cool about that. But I've never wanted to be that guy.
But there's some digging to do. That I think that's what I am in comedy right now. I know that I can write a joke, and I know that I can make things funny. But you know what? I was just talking to a friend of mine the other day. For you to be not successful, but to be different somehow. Yeah. Funny is not enough anymore if you think about it. You know how to be funny. You know how to write a joke, and you're proud of it. It's good when you post and people like it. It's awesome. And you have your show. But what is gonna make people connect with you?
Absolutely.
Sometimes, because if you think about it, how many comedy specials are right now on Netflix?
Millions.
Some of them are amazing. But why people watch Nanette? I don't like it. It's not for me.
Me neither.
But the fact is, it's not that because I don't like it that I don't feel that I don't understand the value. People connect with that thing. Yeah. I think Theo Von is much funnier than her. Right. And his special is awesome. I love it. Right. But the thing is, didn't make that much noise like her did. So what is making people connect with her and not connect with good jokes?
That's a tough thing to measure, though, because what Nanette is doing is what's hot now. So it's just this thing that enough people are in this bubbling up of like, this is what we feel. So they're sharing it with other people. Whereas what Theo's doing right now might not be popular thing to share. So they're enjoying it,
the sharing
but then
is,
going, hey, I'm not gonna send this to my friend because it might be a little edgy or whatever. Nanette is popular because if you share Nanette, you're progressive and you're open minded. Look at how except like think about like Pride Week, you know, like are they really that supportive of the gay community, or do they want to brag? Look how supportive I am of the gay community. But is it about the gay community, or is it about how open-hearted you are? Look at how good I am, that I'm even accepting these gay people. Yeah. So it's like, I have those struggles all the time thinking like, what am I masquerading and what am I really feeling? And I support the gay community, but I don't need 7,500 posts of it and me out there and be like, look how good I am. Look what I'm accepting. Look what I'm a part, you know? So I have a battle with that.
I agree.
Where like on my Instagram, you'll see photos of me with comedians. You'll see me at baseball games. You'll see a lot of fun stuff. I don't show me with like my special Olympics kids.
I agree.
Because I feel like if I post that, people are going to go, oh, look, he thinks
he's looking for
he
clout.
needs some. Yeah. And I feel those feelings when I see other people do that.
My friend, you know what's crazy? I love this conversation.
Thank you.
This is a subject that I really like because I had all those questions for a long time because I was really famous in my country. Right. So people were always asking me for things and support this cause and help us with this and help us with that. And that was always in the back of my mind, like, am I helping because I want to help, or am I going to help just because people will think that I'm cool helping?
Right.
Yeah.
And then I had a long talk because I of course, you always started with a bad joke. I made a bad joke about people with like Down syndrome, and they sued me. And I sat down with a representative and I asked her, like, "Oh, let me ask you. So now that we are here, and now that we are talking about this stuff, and I'm gonna help you any ways you guys want. If you want me to pay, I pay. I don't care." But when an artist just go and talk about your cause, sometimes I see that they don't wanna. They are not connecting with the cause. They are doing because they want to be in the magazine.
It's good for brand.
And you know what? Hugging a kid with Down syndrome. How many likes you're gonna have with that?
So annoying.
I think it's but what she said opened my mind, and this is a learning that I had. What she said was like, I know that sometimes a singer or an actor does this because he's not thinking about us. He's thinking about himself. But the fact is, he's helping. In the long run, he's telling everybody about our cause.
The reach.
Our name is in his Instagram. And this can make people... It's gonna make our cause known to a big audience, and maybe a few of those people can help us in the future.
And they care.
Maybe we're gonna do a campaign and stuff, and they're gonna be already knowing our name, and that can help.
Sure.
So while that person is doing this for her own good, what are you doing?
Right.
I'm just questioning myself. I'm doing nothing.
Yeah.
So
that's
the
interesting.
fact is, even if it's not for the right purpose, he is helping. And I am questioning myself. And when you don't do it because you're worried about the repercussion, you're being more selfish than that person that is helping because she wants. Damn. You know?
Yeah, that's interesting.
And I was like, man, she didn't tell me all of that. I figured out myself because I'm very smart. And, but you know, the thing is, he's helping somehow. That person is helping somehow. And sometimes we question ourselves too much. It's like everybody helps, not only because he's just trying to help as an altruistic move.
Right.
But
that's a famous person who's got the reach. What if it's someone who doesn't have the reach, who's just trying to be like, look how good I am? You know what I'm saying? Like they're hoping that will.
But everybody has a reach, man. If it's 15 people or if it's 1 million people, that's the reach that they can get.
Sure.
You know, the thing is, sometimes it's just, you know what? Fucking do it.
Yeah. And
the only people who make these questions and think about this whole process like you are thinking, and I'm thinking, are the ones that are not doing anything.
Right.
We are not doing anything,
Yeah.
you know? So it's better to fucking just do it.
That's
And
good.
the audience, they are gonna love you.
Yeah.
They are gonna love
Right.
you. If it is, that's not a bad price to pay.
Yeah, it's great.
If you think about it, if you do this, you're gonna, my man, I did a few times and I got no criticism. And the ones that wanted to criticize me, I'm not gonna post like, you're a piece of shit, because people are gonna criticize that
Yeah,
guy.
they go, what?
Yeah.
Why are you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
there's like a shield behind you.
So my favorite thing, I did a charity this weekend with Russell Wilson and Sierra, both wildly rich and successful, and they raised millions
Sierra
this
is
weekend.
the singer.
Yeah.
Oh, my girlfriend loves her.
She's
so
the
much.
best. That's how I did it. So I was on a TV show with her like 5 years ago.
Oh, cool.
So they had me MC this thing in this auction, and they raised millions just this weekend for this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite thing that Russell Wilson does, because Russell Wilson is making, he could have donated that.
Yeah, highest paid player in the NFL.
Yeah, he could have donated that in a second. Like, and in my mind, I was questioning, like, why aren't they just? Why doesn't he just give it to the? Why are we trying to get these people to auction on things like when they have all this money? But then I started thinking about it. The most valuable thing that I think Russell Wilson does, because time is our most precious commodity. He goes to the Children's Hospital in Seattle like once a week, like during a certain time period in Washington. He's so famous. Like, I couldn't do this now. Maybe someday, I hope someday in the future, but athletes have this great ability where everyone knows Russell Wilson in Seattle. Everyone knows his face. Everyone knows him. So when he walks into Children's Hospital, these kids like
Light up.
forget the money, forget anything. Like, he's raising spirits of like kids who are dying. I mean, there's certain levels of children's. There's the people that are going through this, people that are going through treatment, and then there's a higher level where, you know, these kids are there's like a 1% chance they might get out of this. Like, so that spirits get lower as you go higher. And Russ spends a lot of time there, like weekly, when he doesn't have to. He could just be writing the checks like some of these people.
Yes.
But I think the most valuable thing he does is he goes in there, and Sierra and Russ, they go in there, and these kids, like, they get photos. Like, if you follow him on Twitter, like, he posts them and reposts them and comments. And I remember sitting there like just this weekend and looking at him and going, he's doing like hero work, like the Lord's work.
Think about it.
With,
That's
for
awesome.
$0 and for zero credit. He's walking into a place and they're loving him.
And if you have an outside perspective, and if you didn't know the whole process, you would think maybe, fucking, you're not giving any money, you're just going there.
Right.
That's a different way to think. But if you think about it, yeah, his time is
Those
much more
kids
precious than the money.
Are light up. And
Yeah.
if like think about this kid, like, gets out of cancer and he lives to be 45 and he has kids, he's gonna go, oh my gosh, when I was a kid, Russell Wilson came and like visited me and we tossed like a football around while I was in a hospital chair. He's gonna hold that his whole life.
Yeah.
His entire life. Doesn't matter what Russell Wilson does, he's gonna vouch for Russell Wilson. Because so like I was sitting there thinking, like reflecting, and just like had like a whiskey, and I was like the whole auction was kind of coming to an end, everyone's dancing, and I just kept thinking, like, if there's ever a reason to be famous, like that's what you do with it. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a good, honorable like reason to get famous.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I try to help when I can, man. I think that's a good thing to do, you know? If you have the money as well. Like yesterday, it's crazy because yesterday in Brazil, to help, you don't need that much money to help, you know? Like, you can help with almost nothing. I got a message from this girl saying, we want to give cookies to the kids, but we don't have the money. People just, sometimes they send me messages like this on Instagram. I got a lot of messages. Sometimes it's difficult because I get messages of people, kids that are really, really sick, and they need like $2 million to have a surgery, and you're gonna be like, fuck, man.
Right.
It's now I know. You know, I didn't want to know this. This kid needs a help. Maybe I could pay for this thing.
Right.
It's like, what am I doing with my life? Looking for comedy. And there's a mom that needs help. And yesterday I got a message from this girl saying, pretty simple, like, we want to give cookies to the kids, and we do it every year. We don't have this year. So can you help us? And I was like, of course I can.
Yeah, I can buy some cookies. Yeah.
Send me send me the account. I'll send you the money. It was like $40.
Oh wow.
It was like $40 to give cookies for like 150 kids.
Oh my
And she
gosh.
was like, "Oh my gosh, it's gotta be God." And I was like, "No, that wasn't God. That was me.
That is
That was me. That wasn't God. That was me. That was my money. I put. Don't take my credit
take my
away.
credit away.
No,
Yeah.
don't give God.
The Lord
How
gets
dare
tons of
you?
credit. Why
Yeah.
can't I have
Ah,
some?
yeah.
No, but that breaks my heart. That it was only $40, and they're like
$40.
so
You
excited.
should have sent cookies that had like your name autographed in frosting, so they know. So they know.
So they know.
From Raf.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you for being on this.
my friend.
Where can people find you? So you're not just a guy sitting here.
I'll post everything on my Instagram in
Okay.
English, which is at Raffi Comedy, RAFI Comedy.
Okay.
And yeah, man, I have a few shows to do in small places. And,
Nice. Are you gonna do another Netflix special, or is that
Man, I will.
Yeah.
Eventually, I will. But my thing is exactly what we were talking. What is this Netflix
what's the
special?
next thing? Yeah.
What is the Netflix special? Is just jokes? I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
want to have just, okay, he has his Netflix special and nobody watches. How can this really, really push me and help my career?
I think everyone's kind of thinking that direction now because the Netflix special doesn't feel that special anymore. So
Yeah.
everyone's trying to say like, what is this next?
And I cannot go with Gads did like, oh, I'm this guy trying the American dream.
Right.
That's not what I want. I want
Right.
something that really connect with everyone.
Yeah.
With, in a life aspect.
Absolutely.
So let's see.
Well, yeah, and like similar to the conversation we're having now, like it could be Nanette while also being funny.
Yeah.
That's the problem. My only beef with Nanette's is it was this beautiful TED Talks, but it wasn't a comedy special.
Completely agree.
So it's like, I'm not mad at that. I'm mad that it didn't make me laugh. It was false advertising.
Yes, yes.
It's like, well, it was like the movie The Village. Like they advertised a horror film and they gave me a really good movie. I wouldn't have been mad at the good movie if they wouldn't have advertised a horror film.
As a horror film.
Yeah.
Do you did you ever did like a full show on a TV or something, like your whole special?
No, never with stand up. I
Never
had like a 25-minute, like, or it was called a half hour, but with commercials it's 25. On Comedy Central a long time ago, and it wasn't that good. Nobody really responded to it. I was pretty young and pretty nervous. I had only been doing comedy for like 3 years. So since then, I've done a ton of TV, but not like stand-up stuff. So it's interesting. Like, I don't know if maybe I burned a bridge when I was like too young, and then people are like, oh, we know Jeff.
Of course.
Yeah, but now
Are you looking to do one?
yeah, I've got a whole hour ready that's gonna be fantastic. But it's like what we were talking about earlier about how like I'm happy. But my perspective about it is that like no one tells you when you find happiness that it's going to agitate everyone around you. People look at me like, ugh, like get Smiley out of here. You know, like I love life and I love people and I love everything. And so it's funny that like I feel like I'm the outcast for being too happy. So like I have like a whole thing about that, and that's kind of the whole special. But
Oh, cool.
yeah, it's gonna be
man.
good.
That's cool. That's cool.
So you said we'll post all your stuff on there so people can find you.
Raffi Comedy.
Raffi Comedy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just on Instagram, and I'll post a clip. If you send me a clip of this talk,
Absolutely. We'll send a bunch of clips.
Gladly.
T-Bear, what can people
T-Bear.
find you this week?
every time is a different
Yeah, I
name,
like
too.
giving you a lot of nicknames.
Yeah, you guys just follow me on Twitter and Instagram at I am Tony Reavis and see what I'm up to there.
See what he's up to, what he's getting into.
Let me just say I'll be in Canada next month
Okay.
at the JFL.
Nice.
I'm gonna do the whole month in this show called The Ethnic Show.
Okay. Nice.
So I'll have my own show on the 22nd, my solo show.
Very
but I'll
good.
do the whole month doing the Ethnic Show.
Do you know where the venue is up there? Because Montreal has all these different places you can perform.
It would take me a little bit, but I'll post it on my Instagram.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. What a great festival. Montreal is
You
fantastic.
ever
That's the
do?
best. I've done it twice, and
Oh,
both
it's
times it's
awesome.
like the best week ever.
And this year, I'm gonna do the whole month
That's amazing.
because it's a running show like every night, so it's gonna be good to practice.
That's where you see comics being a group, like and like hanging out and like
Yes.
going to things together and stuff like
and
that.
having sex and
A lot of drinks.
So cool.
I don't know about sex. I mean, I don't know any female comedians that would sleep with me.
No.
Most of them are into girls.
Did you ever have sex
or-
with a female comedian?
Would
you say?
Good question.
Would you say the truth now that I'm asking?
I guarantee I have had sex with a female comedian, but I'm trying to recall who that might be in my brain.
That's a bad luck, Jeff.
I know, but like I know that like I remember
Was she a
saying,
comedian when it happened, or she had sex with you and she had a lot of jokes after that?
yeah, she stole some stuff off my shelf and was like, I gotta make fun of this nerd.
Yeah.
I'm a comic. Let's go down to the open mic and make fun of the guy with the action figures. No, I know I have, but I can't recall who.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. I'll post it on my Instagram.
I'll
Raffi
send a
Comedy.
photo of whoever it was. I've tried. I tried to hook up with Kate Quigley a few times.
You did?
Yeah, no such luck.
Oh,
you know, you
she's
gotta
awesome.
do what you gotta
She's
do.
awesome.
You try, you take a shot. You know?
She's
you
awesome.
take a shot.
Yeah, it would be good. If you do it, just please record for me.
Yeah, exactly. I'll post all the details. and all that.
Cool.
Love you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being on the podcast,
Thank
man.
you, my friend.
We
It
gotta
was
have
a
you back.
pleasure, brother. It was a
Absolutely. We're gonna hit a
pleasure.
Lakers game up.
Yes.
Friendship.
How about that? Great episode. I told you you'd love it. Listen, if you guys are listening on iTunes or wherever you're listening, subscribe, rate, please. We would love that. Share with a friend. We would love that. If you'd like to watch the podcast, go on over to patreon.com/JeffDye, and you can watch this podcast. You get new episodes each week. You'll get free comedy club tickets to wherever I'm performing all over the world for free. Yeah, but most of all, we love you guys. If you have any comments or thoughts, shoot us a line. We're here for you. We love you guys, and we appreciate you. Peace.